Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over the top 10 best sounding cars in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now obviously before we get into this video, I just want to say this is my opinion. If you disagree with it, you're wrong. No, but this is my opinion, so if there's cars that you guys would like to see on a list like this, let me know in the comments down below. I will check them out. I feel like this is probably my best sounding cars list that I've ever made. I feel like I've got a lot of variety in here, so hopefully you guys are gonna like this. There's definitely gonna be some cars that I'm gonna miss, and there's also gonna be some cars that have the exact same engine sound. So when I put one of those cars on there, what I'm saying is every other car with that engine sound as well. Anyway guys, let's start off with number 10. Alright guys, and at number 10 we have the Chevelle Fugitive. Now I know what you're thinking, that car is really weird looking and it's just like a basic car off the street, and yes, you're absolutely right. But if you've never heard the Chevelle Fugitive before, get ready. So as you guys heard, the Chevelle Fugitive I think is definitely deserving of being on this list. This is a car that I feel like it actually has a pretty unique engine sound. I'm sure there's a couple other cars in the game that also have this engine sound, but I feel like it's mostly unique. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys can think of any cars that also share that same engine sound. Anyway, let's move on to number 9. Alright guys, next up at number 9 we have the Vapid Dominator ASP. This thing shares a sound, the Ruiner, but other than that, I don't really think that it shares the sound with too many other cars. It sounds fantastic. Let's hop inside. So as you guys can hear, I think that the Dominator ASP sounds pretty good. Could it sound a little better? Yeah, but I feel like it definitely deserves to be on this list. Anyway guys, let's move on to number 8. Alright guys, next up at number 8 we have the Vapid GB200. This thing sounds actually kind of insane. It's based off of an old Ford RS200 I believe it is, and obviously that car was also used for rallying, and the GB200 has definitely taken some of that rally heritage to the exhaust. Let's have a listen. So as I'm sure you guys could hear, the GB200 is a pretty good sounding car, at least in my opinion. Anyway, that's it for this one. Let's move on to number 7. Alright guys, next up at number 7 we have the ENUS Remus. This thing sounds crazy, sounds like any other kind of JDM sort of car. It definitely sounds like it's tuned. It's a really sick car. Let's hop in. Just sounds like a tuner car. It's pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. Anyway, that's it for number 7. On to number 6. Alright guys, next up, this one is for my Mercedes fans. We have the Schafter V12. This was really the first car that got added into GTA Online, in my opinion at least. They kind of sounded crazy in comparison to all the other cars. Anyways, let's get into the Schafter V12 and take it for a spin. So as I'm sure you guys heard, the Schafter V12 is a very good sounding car. It's arguable that this thing is the best sounding car in the game, but honestly, the next 5 cars all sound so incredible that I just couldn't put this thing any higher, even though I absolutely love the Schafter V12 and how it sounds. Anyway guys, let's move on to number 5. Alright guys, next up at number 5, we have the Lampi Cincamila, or Cincamila, however you want to say it. We have it. This thing sounds pretty crazy. It shares a sound with the Lampi Komoda as well. And obviously the Lampi Komoda is a pretty sick car. So let's hop in, see how this thing sounds. Overall, I feel like it sounds pretty good. Could be a little bit better, but honestly, I'm not one to complain. I think that this thing sounds great. Let's move on to number 4. Alright guys, next up we have the Ocelot XA21. This thing sounds fantastic. Honestly, it sounds really similar to the Cincamila, but a little bit different, I feel like. I feel like it's got a louder sort of tone to it. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. I think it sounds a little bit different though. Anyway, let's hop in. Honestly, sounds really good. I think this is probably the best sounding supercar in the entire game, but I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Alright guys, next up we have the Cockette Blackfin. Now this is a car that I never see anybody talking about when it comes to the best sounding cars in this game, but honestly I feel like it genuinely deserves to be this high on the list, and it deserves to be on every list. This thing sounds fantastic. Let's hop in. So as you guys can hear, I'm sure, it sounds pretty darn good. I really like the Cockette Blackfin. It has a really unique engine sound. Anyway guys, that's it for number 3. Let's move on to number 2. Alright guys, next up at number 2, it's the vehicle you all knew was going to be on this list, and it is of course the Sterling GT. This thing sounds absolutely fantastic. You guys probably already know what this sounds like, but anyway, let's hop in. So as I'm sure you guys heard, the Sterling GT, it sounds pretty incredible. It's pretty damn good. Anyway guys, let's move on to number 1. Alright guys, next up at number 1, we of course have the Franken Stage. This thing is definitely, in my opinion, the best sounding car in the entire game. However, it is also by far the most undrivable car on this list. This thing actually completely sucks at doing anything other than going in a straight line. And even going in a straight line, I bet you half the cars on this list would actually beat this thing. Anyways, with that being said, this is the best sounding cars list, and this thing sounds amazing. So as I'm sure you guys heard there, this thing has an absolutely fantastic engine sound. It doesn't have a very cool noise when you actually let off at the gas, but that's okay because the engine sound I think makes up for it. I mean, you guys can hear the thing behind me probably. It sounds kind of crazy. Overall, the car is just insane, looks insane. It's an insane vehicle. Anyway, guys, with that being said, that is it for the top 10 best sounding cars in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of my list. Are there any cars that you would add? Are there any cars that you would take away? That is pretty much it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, if not dislike. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.